Hi friends, I thought I'd send a video out of some of my exploits in X-Plane. I haven't been flying my Airbus 320 for a while, but recently started flying it a lot more often due to the sequestering because of COVID and stuff. And I ran across a thing on the internet called the Haversine formula. It's a formula for calculating great circle routes. You can calculate using algebra and trigonometry the distance between any 2 points on the surface of the Earth. So I wrote a spreadsheet that took all the capitals of all the states and computed their distances. This let me create a matrix that plotted a path of how I would fly to every capital of every state in the Union. So this was a project I started a couple of weeks ago. I started in Hawaii. I've flown to California, Sacramento, and then down to Phoenix, Arizona, and then up to Salt Lake City, Utah, and then back over to Carson City, Nevada, which is the capital. It's right near Reno. Reno was a nightmare flying into there. The terrain is terrible and the winds are strong, and it took me a while. The Carson City airport is so small that my 320 can't land there. It's only got a 75-foot wide runway. So I landed in Reno, and then I flew my little tiny one-man jet over there and landed, and then flew back to Reno, and then went up to Salem. And that's where I'm getting to my story here. This video is a composite of various takes on my landing in Salem. For starters, I'd like to say that I'm videoing this on my monitor so I can get sound. It's handheld on my iPhone, so I apologize if there's some jitter and an occasional finger creeps in the corner, but it was the easiest way to videotape what I wanted to show you. So Salem was completely socked in, and I'm making an ILS approach on instruments, and I think this is the cloudiest approach I've ever made to an airport. You can see here it looks like it's going to clear, but then it clouds up pretty good, and it's very socked in, and I'm only at about 500 feet above the runway or something, and it whites out completely. And so I basically am crossing my fingers here as we head in toward the runway, hoping it clears with enough time for me to react to land it if I'm slightly off the end of the runway or whatever. Fortunately, there's not a very big crosswind here.
Approaching minimums.
A little bit about the simulator nomenclature here. Approaching minimums means I'm getting near where I have to decide and commit to a landing or execute a go-around. When you hear minimums, then I'm exactly committed and have to land.
Caution. 100.
Caution warning means I have taken the autopilot down and
50,
I'm manually
40,
landing
30,
the craft.
20. 10.
It was quite smooth, but there's a bump. Did you see that? It startled me. I wasn't sure what had happened. Now from a side view, you can see that indeed there was a little glitch. It's like something's wrong with the runway. I really couldn't figure it out. So in replay, I took a shot of the landing where I was following in front of the aircraft, watching it as it came in. And you can see there's about a 3-foot drop in the runway. Let's take a look at that again. As Spock would say, Jim, it's a rip in the space-time continuum. X-plane simulates the Earth in large rectangles. Each of these rectangles is mapped onto the world, and oftentimes there's a slight mismatch where two edges of two plates meet. Apparently, one of those meetings is right across the runway for Salem, Oregon. It looks like the plate to the north is about 1.5 meters lower than the plate to the south. Most of the time you don't even notice it, but when you're trying to land on it, it's kind of obvious. Well, that's my trip to Salem. 6 states down and 44 to go. I hope to make some more of these as I find interesting things through my travels. Take care. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.